Hi, I'm Steph. I've been a physical therapist for over 10 years and a runner for over 20, and I've helped a lot of runners get back to running injury-free, so I wanted to share some of my tips and tricks with you too. Today, I want to share my physical therapist guide on how to stop knee pain with running. Before we get started, please hit the red subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every time I release a new video, and check out my website for more tips and tricks on how to keep yourself happy, healthy, and on the go. Runners develop knee pain most commonly from alignment issues, whether it be from the top down, from the pelvis down, or from the bottom up, from your feet up to the knee. Most of the time it is not the knee itself that is the problem. And then of course, all the repetitive stress and impacts over every footfall, over every mile you put in, creates some strain as well. So if we start from the bottom up, if there is overpronation, uncontrolled lowering of your arch when you're running, and that can cause a rotation in the lower leg, and that places stress on the knee. Likewise, if there's instability up at the pelvis and your hip is dropping more than it should be when you're running, that creates a rotation of the upper limb, upper part of the lower limb, and that also creates strain on the knee. Here are my 4 tips on how to stop knee pain with running. Number 1, make sure you've got the correct shoes for your foot type. Are you running in shoes that either don't fit you right or are worn down so that it's causing irritation and alignment issues in your feet and ankles and throughout your leg? So another thing to be aware of and watch out for is the surface you're running on. Is it uneven gravel? Are you going around tight turns on a track over and over again? Those things all create an impact and a stress at the knee. So be aware of those, correct them if you can. All right, number 2, I want you to use a foam roll or a stick to mobilize the tissue. Usually it's on the outside of the knee that's causing the problem, but also through the quad muscles and surrounding tissues around the knee. So when you're foam rolling, I want you to specifically do the IT band on the outside of your leg and just go to the knee. I don't want you to cross over the knee, and don't go as high as like right over your hip bone, but you can do everything in between. And then use a stick. So I like to use a tiger tail. And I want you to, with that, you can get a little bit deeper into the tissue right around the knee, and then through the quad muscles. All right, number 3, we want to stretch out the muscles around the knee as well. So we want to get the hamstring, and you can do this laying down. So about 30-second holds times 2. And then while you're here, you can add in an IT band mobilization. So I call those leg overs. As you can see here, you're just gonna swing that leg up and over across, trying to get that IT band mobilized. So that one, I want you to do about 5 to 10 reps. So you're mobilizing it, you're not statically stretching it. And then you wanna hit the glutes and the hip flexors, as well as the calf. So make sure you're getting the gastroc with knee straight and the soleus with knee bent. Number 4. So saving this for last, but it's probably one of the most important things, and that is strengthening. And this is the top-down approach, or stopping knee pain with running. So we want to stabilize the pelvis and the muscles around the pelvis in order to avoid that hip drop that occurs that can translate down to stress and strain at the knee. So we want to improve the stability around the pelvis. By doing that, we need to strengthen the hip external rotators. I like to use a standing hip external rotation with band. That way you can work on single leg stability as well as the strengthening. We need to strengthen hip abductors. I like to use a side plank with hip abduction, and that way you're working on your core as well as the hip strengthening. I also like this because you can modify it. So you can start with a modified version with the knee bent, and then work towards the full version as you get stronger. And then we need to work on the hip extensors, or the glute muscles. So for that, there's lots of different ways to strengthen this. I like to use planks, again, because you're getting core, and then I like to add in hip extension with that. And you could always make that harder by adding in a band. And then another one I like to do is skaters. And again, you can do that with or without a band. That way you're working on single leg stability again as well, because with running, we are either in float phase, so we're floating in the air, off the ground, or we're on one leg. We don't spend any time on both legs, so we need to train our muscles to work in the single leg position. Try to get 10 to 15 reps of each and 2 sets. If it takes you more than 15 reps to get to that fatigue, so I want you to at least just start to be getting fatigued by the end of the reps, then do more, or add a band, or somehow make it harder for yourself so you're getting to that fatigue, and that way you are building strength. So add in strengthening even twice a week to build up that stability from the top down. All right, there you have it. A physical therapist's guide on how to stop knee pain with running. You want to make sure you have the support from the bottom up. Make sure you've got enough support in your shoes. You want to use a foam roll or a stick, I like a tiger tail, to mobilize the tissues, specifically on the outside of the knee and the IT band, which tend to get really tight. You want to make sure you stretch and mobilize the hamstrings, the IT bands, the glutes, and the hip flexors, as well as the calves, and then work your stability from the top down by strengthening the hip external rotators, abductors, and extensors. One more thing, if you are looking for a customized training program to avoid injury, improve your fitness, or get to your next PR, visit my website and the For the Runner tab to get more information or leave me a comment below. I hope this video is helpful and helps to prevent injury for some of you with your running. If it was helpful, please hit the like button, leave me a comment below, and share it with your fellow running family and friends. Thanks so much for watching.